We're live. Ready? And 3, 2, 1. All right. Welcome, everybody. How are you doing? This is Shannon Watson.
Hi.
She's our drum major for the 2016 marching band season for the Coyote Pride. And actually, this is the first time, so I'm just going to kind of throw it out there that I talked to a few people about the possibility of doing like a little video blog or a vlog for the Campo program, and just kind of do maybe a few announcements that way, let everybody know what's going on, maybe some of the big things that you can hear about, and just talk to you about it and introduce some different people in the program and everything. So this is Shannon Watson.
Hi.
She's a senior student this year, and she's our drum major.
Mm-hmm.
And having fun with being a drum major?
Yeah, it's a ton of fun. There's a lot of running.
There's a lot of running. That's right. So like last night at practice, Shannon was running basically all around the field, trying to put out this fire, putting out that fire, getting batteries for this, putting the metronome there. And there was a moment she came up to me in the practice, and she's just like, I'm gonna lose so much weight this year. so she's doing a great job. But I wanted to ask her a couple questions just to let her get to know you guys a little bit. So far this season, what's been your favorite moment?
Well, like the first day of band camp when we were going out in twos and stuff, and I just put my hands up. And then they actually responded to me and stopped talking, and that was just really cool.
right, because you've never had that kind of power before. It's so funny because when you get into a drum major position, all of a sudden you put your hand up, and everybody's like, "Oh," and they want to listen to you. It's kind of an awkward feeling, I'm assuming.
Well, it was actually just really cool because I tried doing that last year, and everyone's like, "Shut up, Shannon."
I know, right? So last year, if you were to try that, they'd be like, why are you putting your hand up in the air? Yeah, right. They'd wave to you or something. But now she has this crazy amount of power, so that's cool. I mean, that's kind of a neat thing that have. So that's been your favorite moment?
Yeah.
I personally liked being your arms.
Oh God, dude. Okay, so what happened was we did this sandwich game, and I had to bring in a bunch of stuff to make a sandwich and a nice lunch, and then I had my arms behind my back, and Kozak was my arms, and he just did horrible things.
Well, I just made you eat weird things. So that was really fun. That was during band camp, and yeah, we play some games during camp, and one of the games we play is called the arm game, and I am her arms, and the scene that we acted out was her making lunch and eating lunch, and it got very messy, but it was fun.
Someone took a video of that. It's somewhere in the world.
It's out there somewhere, so look it up and see if you can find it. But what about your biggest surprise so far? What have you been surprised by?
The communication with the pit and the battery. That was a little surprise.
Last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, last night. Yeah, it's so weird. That is always a big learning lesson. I'm sure that any of our drum majors in the past would tell you, it's so hard because, and I was actually explaining it to a parent in the stands last night. When the battery, which is the drum line, they're playing the snares and drums and quads and everything. When they're probably a good 50 yards away, 50 yards in the back of the field, and the drum major's in the front of the field right next to the pit, and the battery has to anticipate because by the time their sound gets to the pit, then it'll be in time. But if the battery listens to the pit and tries to play with the pit, it's off. So the battery has to actually, in their location, they have to be about an eighth note ahead of the pit. But then the drum major is trying to keep it all together, and it's so hard sometimes. But so that's been your biggest surprise?
Yeah, I didn't expect it to be. I expect it to be tricky, but not that difficult.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely one of the most frustrating parts of putting together the marching show on the field is the distance out there and trying to get everybody to play together when they're spread out like that. So, what about the difference between marching and being a drum major? What have you noticed has been, kind of interesting or something that's maybe you didn't expect?
Well, you move your arms a whole lot more. I don't know. It's the basics block is different because you're standing on the side and watching everyone.
Right.
And you're trying to critique but then you don't know if you're good at critiquing because you haven't marched in a while.
Yeah.
So
So you're not getting that practice. So you might be like, who am I to tell them what they're? Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm sure. And one of the things I remember when I was I got to be a drum major in high school too. Was the moment where I just fell in love with teaching. Because I got the opportunity to kind of step back and see everybody and help them and see the little mistakes that were happening, whatever. And I think that's the moment that I knew that that's what I wanted to do. Was when I got to be a drum major. So it's kind of an interesting thing because like you don't get to participate with all the marching basics and all that stuff, and you kind of stand on the outside and you're running the metronome and you're doing all that stuff, but it's got its own value, I think. Just like you learn a lot by doing that. And I think Jacob last year, I'm sure that had to have been invaluable for him, because going on and being a music educator and everything is probably a good thing. So all right, so Shannon, words of wisdom.
I'm full of wisdom.
When we were talking about this segment, I was like, all right, I gotta ask you for some words of wisdom. And she's like, oh, I've got wisdom. So do you have any words of wisdom for our freshmen, our sophomores, or even the parents?
There's a time and a place for everything.
Time and a place for everything. That is very wise, Shannon.
I got that from my dad.
So, Mr. Watson, thank you for sharing those words of wisdom with us. But yeah, okay, so what do you mean by that? Like, how would that apply to what we're doing here with the band?
Well, I mean, okay, so time and a place. There's a time to be silly and fun and like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a good time. But then there's a time to be serious and actually get work done. So,
right.
So you have to know the time and a place.
Right, you got to be able to flip that switch.
Yeah.
That's always tough. Like, especially with our younger students, I would say, is like, being able to, oh, we're funny, we're silly, okay, serious, and being able to go that and flip that switch. I think that's just but it's definitely very wise. Thank you, Shannon. So there's your words of wisdom from Shannon Watson, and I guess Mr. Watson, kind of roundabout, right? So a couple things real quick I just wanted to throw out there to you, a couple announcements. First of all, thank you to those who came to the booster meeting on Tuesday night. It was really, really great to have a large group of parents that are supporting everything that we're doing here. I will tell you that the students are working their tails off, and the staff is working real hard to make sure that this is just an amazing experience for everybody. So to have just that group of people that come out and meet and say, hey, we're gonna support you, we're gonna support the program, we're gonna support the students. Just thank you for coming. And if you weren't there, just give you a couple little things. First of all, make sure you go to the next one. I want to have as many people a part of this, and this what do they say? They say it takes a village. It takes a village to raise a child, or something like that. Isn't there? That's another words of wisdom, I think, somewhere. But yeah, for me, but not so wise because I can't remember what it is. But anyway, I think that having more people involved and understanding like what's going on with the band program here is awesome. So if you can come out next month in September, we'll be sending out the reminders and everything for that. But if you missed the one, the probably the biggest news that we have that's really awesome is last weekend the band parent organization secured our very own semi-trailer. We have a trailer. The Camp of Verde band now will be having a 53-foot trailer, just similar to the one that Gilbert has. And now we don't have to rent multiple trucks to go everywhere. So that is huge news. That's something that we've been trying to work towards for a while. At the performance over the summer, I said this, and I'll say this again. A huge thank you. We had an anonymous donor step forward and say, hey, here's a large donation that's going to help cover this trailer purchase. And first of all, that's awesome. I mean, thank you to that donor. But it finally happened. We've been doing some research for the last couple months and trying to find the right fit, trying to find the right trailer, trying to find the right cost and everything like that. And we found one. It's in California right now, and it will be here in the next couple of weeks. So just awesome news. And we'll probably have like an unveiling type party or something like that, and that's news to you. Surprise to Shannon that we're going to do a big party. Yeah, I mean, we'll be like, move that truck. Or move that.
truck.
Right, not that bus, I guess. But yeah, so we'll do something kind of fun with that. And but if you can come out and celebrate with us, that's gonna be super cool. And then the next big thing is gonna be, you know, we need to get it wrapped with our logos and everything, so that it's just we're riding in style. Then, you know, probably be a couple year project to build out the inside so that we've got shelving and ramps and all those kinds of things, so that when we actually load it, we have specific places that everything is going to go, and it'll make it a lot faster. So that's going to be really, really great. So that's the biggest news that we shared at the meeting on Tuesday. The second part that I wanted to just throw out there is I just want to say thank you so much to the volunteers that have stepped up in so many different ways, whether it's, like I was mentioning, the donations that have come in, or whether it's just volunteering to help out with our rental nights. Like this week, we had 4 rental nights, and we needed 4 people at each one, and we kind of threw it out there last second, and all of them got filled. And that's just awesome. So, you know, we would not be able to operate if it wasn't for the volunteers. We've had people who have volunteered at those nights, the Milano nights. We've had people who have volunteered to build carts for us. We've had a parent that volunteered to drive to Colorado to sell some of our old equipment and our old props. There's just, everybody is so selfless, and I just love that. So thank you so much for just stepping up and being great supporters of the program. I cannot be happier with the amount of support that we're getting right now. So thank you, volunteers. And you know, if you haven't got a chance to volunteer yet, just look for those opportunities, because it really is fun too. You know, you get a chance to sit with other people and talk to them. One of the parents mentioned it was really fun to go do these Milano nights, because you get to see the 5th graders rent their very first instrument, and it takes you kind of back to when your students started playing their instruments. So that's pretty neat. And then the last thing I just want to throw out there is this week we had sent out, or in the last couple of weeks, we had sent out a couple of signups. First one is for United Sound. That is due today, so hopefully we've had a few issues with getting people signed up for it. If you've had any problems, please let me know, because I want to get everybody involved in that if they that we can have involved. But United Sound signups are due today. Let me know if you haven't gotten the link, or if you haven't gotten signed up, because we want to get everybody in there. And then we also have the private lesson signups that have been going on these last 2 weeks, and I have a stack actually on my desk that I'm going to be entering in, and I'm going to be sending out. So we'll be getting those students started on their private lessons. But private lessons are huge for our program, and just help people. So you take private lessons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just awesome for our students to just get that one-on-one. So I think that's it for right now. You have anything else you want to throw in there?
Band.
Band, that's right. Band 24 hours a day. I'm sure your students are starting to understand that the band is very busy when they get to high school. So, hey, thanks for hanging out for a little bit. We'll try to do this a little bit more often, maybe every couple weeks, whatever. Just kind of throw some information at you, and we'll see you next time. All right, see ya. Bye.
I